Man. How y'all doing out there? Easy to like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. Comments, boys and girls. We are on iTunes, Rumble, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. TheMostMen.com is the website. Also, jointhemensclub.com dovetails into that website. info@themostmen.com is the email if you want to reach out to us. This show is about building better men, okay? Get your man kit. Get your man card. Get your balls back. Get your 12-step recovery program on how to maintain, retain, okay? All this is part of the man kit here. We got most everything in. Comes with your man card. Get your tumbler. This is a tumbler slash koozie for a 12-ounce can and a 12-ounce bottle and or a water bottle. Whiskey, water, coffee, whatever. Your pins. We got battery packs, koozies, T-shirts. Tyler's got the T-shirt over there. You can see part of the the T-shirt I got on right now. Yeah. It comes in this snazzy little... See if I can do this without screwing it up. Comes in this snazzy box here. Open it up. You've joined the men's club. So, that's right. Oh, we got stickers. What else are we waiting on? We're waiting on one more thing. Oh, we're waiting on the box. Battery packs. Yeah, I mentioned that.
Oh.
So the man card comes either with a bottle opener. That is no slouch of a card. Or just comes with a regular card. Oh. All right, how we doing today, Tyler?
Feeling pretty good, man. It's a little cold outside, a little change of weather, and making that beard grow a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting coarse.
You growing it out?
I don't mean to. It's just that I think that cold weather just makes it a little coarse.
Yeah. No, hell, I'd just shave after 2 days, man. So, I've thought about doing a beard. I don't know. My problem is getting it past that awkward stage where it doesn't look like shit. Where you just got to keep shaving it and let it keep going.
Pretty much. You gotta.
I don't like when it gets all straggly and wild and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about shaving mine off because it's just over the course of time it's so long to maintain. You have to figure out your lines. You gotta get your lines right and shave the rest off and let that puff out and grow. Then you gotta shave that down a little bit, all the wild hairs that grow faster than the other ones. There's so much work to it. It's not hard, but it's just over time you just have to really pay attention.
Yeah, the other day I had a before I got my hair cut, I had a wild eyebrow hair, man. That thing was like that long.
Dang.
So we had to do that, and I was like, still had it in my hand. I was like, man, what the hell? So, yeah.
I think we all had that one eyebrow hair that just, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So weird.
Crazy. Yeah, I had a friend of mine, his dad, or his stepdad. Can't remember if it was just, he was a hairy guy. You know what I mean? He had the beard, the hair, it was his eyebrows and his chest hairs. He'd have just one just like flapping out there in the wind like that long. We were like, dude, mend that up.
Man, there was this kid in like 6th grade. I remember, I can't think of his name, but I can see his face. Dude had a full chest full of hair coming out of the top of his neck of his shirt. 6th grade. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, no, we had a kid like that. Nick Wells. Yeah, dude, he by like 4th or 5th grade, he had like full on chest hair, beard. His dad was Nick Wells Sr. He knocked out Larry Holmes twice.
Oh wow.
His boxing career. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Bad dude.
Oh, so that's genetic.
Yeah. No, well, I want to believe that it was before Larry Holmes became Larry Holmes. Yeah, he knocked him out twice.
Damn.
Not once, twice. And that was before his prime, like before his. Yeah, I seen the video. Trust me, they were proud to show it, man. And that family, it was an heirloom that they talked about all the time. So, all right. Well, the topic of the day is speaking of that cold weather, it's got my nose.
Yeah, that's too much of a change. What was it, like 80 degrees? And it dropped down to 29. People get sick off that.
Well, it's all that mountain cedar that blows down with it in the norther. That's what. As soon as the first cold front comes in, you get all that scratchy throat and your nose and all that. Yeah, it's mountain cedar.
Wow.
See, I never used to be allergic to stuff like that. I used to, when people would say, "Oh man, my allergies are so bad," I'd be like, "What the hell is talking about, man?
Yeah.
It can't be that bad." Then I started getting them, and I was like, "I'm sick." They're like, "No, you're not. Everybody's got that." And I was like, "No, you don't understand. My nose, They're like, "I know. Everybody's got that." I was like, "Well, isn't that a cold?" And they're like, "No. It's called allergies. Welcome to the world of allergies, and welcome to our hell that you've been calling us weenies for the last 20 years.
Yep. Dude, I've had it my whole life.
Yeah, so's my sister. My sister, if she gets around a cat, dude, she will like a Oompa Loompa.
Really?
Oh, dude.
What is it about cat hair?
I don't know.
I
hate cats. They're nasty.
Dude, we found a cute stray like earlier this year in the spring, and it was like the most docile cat ever. I was like, oh, this is actually a cool cat. They exist. That thing took the nastiest shits. We let it go.
Yeah, well, have you ever walked in somebody's house that's got cats, that's got a litter box?
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting, man.
Yeah.
Nasty. Don't allow that. Get a gets us right into the number one topic. Okay? Things that you go through problems with girlfriends and this, that, and the other, or wives, or getting married, about to get married. When you're getting in a serious relationship, things that matter. Does she like cats? Off that. Because I remember that was a thing back then. But okay, so the things that are things that matter: body count, relationship with their sisters, relationship with their mother, relationship with their dad, and what are her friends' relationships like? You know, that's something that's you're going to get all your red flags answered right there. I used to get the question whenever I was dating younger, what do you think about cats? And I was like, never. That's a deal breaker. Since you brought that up, I was like, or just cats in general. It's like, no, I'm not living with them nasty things. When we lived in the country, we had some outside cats. Those are cool cats. Those are tomcats. They come and eat, drink, then they're gone. They're killing all the mice around the house. So they'll clean some shit, and snakes.
Fulfilling their purpose.
Yeah, they're meant to be outside, not inside. I mean, you ever seen what they do to a couch with the claws and all that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they'll tear some shit up.
Yeah, their whole life. Like, you have to spank them and stuff, squirt them with water bottles.
Yeah.
They never, because they have to sharpen their claws. It's like their defense. You know?
That's how they climb trees. That's how they do everything they do. They've got to keep those things strong.
Yep.
You know.
At the expense.
Yeah, I had one when I was a kid. It was, again, we lived out in the country. His name was Burr Kitty, because this thing purred so loud. I mean, you could hear him in another room. Just his purr. God, this cat was tough, man. It would leave for a week and come back looking like he damn near dead. How many fights he had gotten in. But he always made it back home. Yeah, he was a tough son of a bitch. Okay, so yeah, there's one. Things that matter. Okay, so body count. Now, I'm 45. Tyler's 35. this is based off of, when I ask this question, this is based off the stuff that's going, everything that I see out there now with this younger generation, and it's girls are way more promiscuous now than ever before.
Yeah.
Before, so if you're getting into a serious relationship, what they're definitely going to ask you how many girls you've been with. Well, how many guys have you been with? So my question, and it doesn't have to be an exact number, but how many is too many?
How many is too many?
Okay, the reason I ask is because they want to be treated like a princess, an angel, a queen, all of that. Well, purity's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
I mean, we're all gonna have sex. It's a natural thing. Let's get it right. I mean, they want it just as much as we want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they go through they're just as horny as we are. It's just part of being human.
Right. They're human beings. It's just nature.
Yeah. Would it? But in a perfect world, would a virgin be great? Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, you can teach. But what if she's a dead lay?
Well,
so but without getting into that, how many is too many? Like, I'll answer it first, so I'm not putting you on the spot. For me, in my generation, virgins were hard to come by, but there were some. My first girlfriend made me wait, man, a long time. She was 2 years younger than me too, but that's why I wouldn't dump her, but I was 15, 16 years old. I had my own truck, man. I was like, it's like, okay, look, I cared, but she was a great girl. She was, docile, didn't cause me any problems, let me do what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I stuck with it around. But every now and then it's like, hey, man, I'm 16 years old. I'm not waiting around forever.
Mm-hmm.
But so the body count for me, 5 would have been, back then, 5 would have been a high number, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm talking in the age between 20 and 25.
Okay.
Okay? But where I get 5 is high school boyfriend, sweetheart, right? Because back then in our school, that was the big thing, is the girls would, good guys were, they didn't, if she's bouncing from guy to guy to guy, we were all like, we ain't putting up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it was a big deal to the girls that, back then, that they saved it for the guy that was their best boyfriend in high school. Right?
Yeah.
Some let it go on prom night, some earlier, but it wasn't cool to have multiples back then in high school. Great for the guy, right? But it wasn't popular. So I say 1 or 2 in high school, college, the college boyfriend, and then a couple after you get out of college. So 5 is where, all right, that's you cover all the, because in college, I never went to college. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went for a little while. I struggled in my second half of it, and I started finding work and got led in the wrong direction. But I got my associates at least.
Well, in this is where I don't. We're gonna expose feminism, but what I'm saying is, girls are not worthless. But so in college, it's more likely for us to go wild in college because it's so hard to get it in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's just your girlfriend. Because back then, if you're going around just girl to girl to girl to girl to girl, the good girls are like, "Hey, man, see ya."
Yeah.
You've already ruined your reputation here, right? So, So college is kind of where we would go crazy. You know,
It's where the partying is. Like if you're a big high school partier, I think that kind of. I don't know if partying in high school picked up or not throughout the course of time. Maybe it was always.
we partied in our high school, man.
Yeah.
Our high, I'm 90s, man, 95. I didn't graduate, but 95 is when I was supposed to graduate. Man, we were trying to bring, Woodstock back.
Oh, okay.
Everybody was just smoking. I mean, everybody loved everybody. There was no dopers, ropers, stoners, dweebies, dickheads, jocks. You know what I mean? Like band. Everybody was welcome. Didn't matter if,
I wonder if it was just harder to be sneaky in high school because if it's a class of and you're all going to school every single day seeing each other, it's hard to like sneak around and do a bunch of stuff with a bunch of people because it's a small community basically and everybody's going to figure things out.
And that, man, stuff spreads fast. Girls can't keep their mouth shut.
Mm-mm.
Can't keep their mouth shut. Guys can, girls can't.
Yeah.
But, so I'm saying 5. Wanting,
In that age range, I think 5's the right number.
Yeah, because 25 is about when you're getting out of college, right?
Yeah.
18, 24.
Yeah.
But my point about girls in college is girls are probably less promiscuous in college because girls got their shit together academically. You know what I mean? I don't think girls go to college. They do. Don't get me wrong. They party. Hell yeah, they party. But they take college a little bit more serious than guys do, is what I'm getting at. So they're more likely to be more focused and have a boyfriend in college. I would think.
That's hard to argue against.
I would think.
Because they're being groomed to like go to college, career woman, take over the workforce and all that stuff.
And then get their program growing and then figure out a way to make. So body count, because we're going to get into all that stuff too. So body count, I'm saying 5 is acceptable.
It's an interesting question too, though, because like if you ever ask a girl in that age range, or even within their before they hit 30, or maybe even after, you ask, whenever that comes up, which almost always does, the number to them they tell you is always 3. So it's like 3, some kind of prime number. Everybody has their one mistake, which you don't know is a mistake.
Or your first boyfriend or your first relationship.
Right. And the second one is like, oh, that broke my whole reality. I hope this works. And you kind of lose your step on your second one. And then number 3 always seems to be like the one you get your like grip back on. So when the girls are saying, you're my third, it's not really like their actual body count. It's what they're telling you is like cared about. The people have actually been serious about this is the third one. But all the things in between, what are those little small numbers?
Okay, so but what I said in high school that was popular for me, how was that for you?
It was hard for me to tell because I was real straight. I found a girl that I really liked when I was like 17. And I finally had my first like serious thing. But it was really hard for me because I didn't. Everybody else just seemed to party, and it just seemed really promiscuous. I mean, people still were in relationships and stuff like that too, but there seemed to be a lot of jumping around in my school. Maybe less than I think, because I wasn't at a lot of the parties. I only started going to those like towards the end. I wasn't really allowed to. My parents just had a grip on me.
Did you take high school serious?
Yes.
Were you focusing on your grades and all that?
1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yes and no. I liked it and I didn't like it. So, I'd been doing side work all the time. Like I used to mow all the neighbors' yards. I did that since I was like 11. Then I worked at UPS. So I was really focused on like finding ways to make money. That kind of got my focus on school. So I did okay in school, but
that's how I had to start. What you're saying, that was my focal point. I had to survive. I was raised by a poor single mother.
Yeah.
And if I wanted school clothes, I had to buy them myself. If I wanted if we wanted electricity or cable, I had to pay for it. I had to pay for my own phone line. I had to pay for everything.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes even paying part of the bills,
You remember how hard it used to be to make $60?
Oh, God.
Man, there was a clothing store that opened up in the mall called Structure, and
Oh, yeah.
I worked so hard for this, and I bought like my freshman clothes, and they're so badass. I was like, hell yeah! And I went to the arcade and was playing a game, and I looked down, somebody had jacked my bag of clothes.
Oh, Jesus.
Blood, sweat, and tears making $60.
Oh, it is, dude. It was rough back then, man.
You used to get a lot of clothes for that too.
Huh?
You used to get a lot of clothes for $60.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. We used to get all sorts of stuff. I mean, you could fill your tank of gas used to be 90 cents when I was in high school. 85, 90 cents a gallon, dude.
Wow.
Diesel was probably 50 or 60 cents.
Really?
Diesel was always cheaper. It's a byproduct of gasoline.
Yeah.
But let's stay on this real quick. Okay, so body count.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I want to say 3, but realistically speaking, just because things are so out of control, now I'd like bring it down to 5. Like I think 5 is a good number. I think you're hitting the nail on the head.
Like the generation above me, like my sister, 3 would have been high.
Yeah.
3 would have been high.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the good girls that are still out there, they act like 3s a lot still too.
Yeah, there's a
Even to
bunch
this
of them
day.
out there that still do. I'm not saying everybody's out there just,
But it's way more than ever though.
now it is.
Yeah, it's
I mean, like, I'm asking this because my son's coming up in this stuff. I mean, some of the stuff they talk about now, my son really doesn't. He's kind of, I don't want to bring his, but he's going through that 13, 14, they're worried about riding dirt bikes. They're not worried about I have noticed, like, when I have his phone, he's got girls Snapchatting him, but he's at that, they kind of understand that they're a waste of time right now. That's what's good about my son's group is they got shit to do, man. They're not sitting around playing video games and all that. They're out riding dirt bikes and getting shit done.
sticking to their principles.
Yeah, but no, okay, so so I was 90s, mid-90s. So, but 80s, it seemed like promiscuous, that was still frowned upon. It's not no more.
Mm-mm.
Not no more. So that's what I'm saying. So body count, that matters. That matters. What's a relationship like with her sisters?
Yeah, I'm gonna struggle with these questions. Like they're because they're so out of control. Like I like them to be separated, but I could be on the wrong path here. So
You would want her to be separate from her sister.
to an extent,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. Now,
If they're best friends, that's who she's on the phone with.
right?
Or, if they're close, like they're real close, they're on the phone, just like the mom. That's the whole thing. It's what's a relationship like with her mom? Can she not talk? Can she not go throughout the day with not talking to mom?
Yeah,
My ex-wife talked to her mom probably 5 times a day, and all her sisters, it was a competition who could talk to her the most.
yep,
And all of them were calling in, complaining about the same shit.
yeah. No, the competition, like you say, that's a real thing. I've seen that.
But, I remember, I'm hated by that family now. But I remember at one point, I was the favorite of the brother, because those other 2 sisters were evil, man. I got the pick of the litter. I really did. I got the pick of the litter. I would not trust that oldest sister as far as I could spit her the way she treated her husband. I've never seen any man get disrespected so hard in my life in front of everybody. Same with the little sister. Both of those girls ran them guys like fucking mules, rented mules. And well, I'll tell you this is one of the reasons why I kept her around. The first time I met her older sister, you haven't heard some of these stories yet. Okay, the first time I met her older sister, we went to her sister's house. Of course, they cooked us hockey puck steaks. They sucked. Her husband's just over there, just all he wants to do is just eat. He doesn't want to talk. He is in the most men pile, most men moment. Sorry, Todd. He's giving up on all sorts. Hey man, how you doing? You sure you want to do this? You sure you want in this family? You know, how about another beer? You need to get prepared for this. So all of a sudden, one night I'm in my chair at home, and she's slowly starting to try to move in. So she's doing my laundry, and she's everything that they do to slowly move in, right? Well, one of my remotes was in my comforter for my TV. You know, back in the day, they had those universal remotes to where you could, you go buy one at CVS and it'd work on any TV you got, right? So she washed it, but she set it right back. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck's wrong with my remote? And so she never told me that she washed it. Okay? So $5, I went and got me another remote. So that night we're at her sister's house. She said, so, you remember that remote? You couldn't figure out why it was not working and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, not really. She's like, you don't remember, asking Ann why? And Ann's in the bathroom while this is going on. So she's starting shit while she's in the bathroom, okay? Oh, there was, she washed your comforter on your bed and did all your bed sheets and all that. And she washed your remote. And you were wondering why your remote, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. She washed it and put it back? She's like, yeah, she didn't tell you. I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't pissed or anything, right? I'm just like, okay, whatever. So she comes back from the bathroom, and I'm like, hey, we've already had 6 or 7 beers. I'm starting to get to know the guy. I'm like, hey, I got a bone to pick with you. Why didn't you just tell me you washed my remote that one time? And all of a sudden, this other sister's like, yeah, why didn't you tell him? You told me, wash it. So I'm like, this is pissing my ex-wife off, okay? And we're finishing up, and it's like, all right, well, we're finishing up. And the oldest sister's sitting there standing with a glass of wine, and she had this little fucking dog that's like this big. The ones they put the little bows in their hair with the longer hair. They're little, I don't know what they're called. They're little shithead dogs. They're about like this. All they do is sit there and
Shih Tzus or whatever.
Is one of the types, yeah, but it's a little bitty. So I think so. She's got a 2-way kitchen. Like you can walk in one way and then it goes to the dining room, like that. And then there's a bar on this side. Kind of how all the older houses are. You got 2 ways in and out of the kitchen, and then you're looking in the living room, right? So my ex Ann walks around the corner, and she's kind of standing by the dining room table. Like when you get bitching at her husband, when are you gonna finish eating? You glutton. That's all you do is eat. She's evil. This woman's fucking ugly. She's got the ugly sister syndrome. Ann's coming from behind, and she starts not running, but kind of getting her steps up. And I thought she was just like going to goose her, like scare her. Dude, she grabbed her by the top of her hair, ripped her head back, bam, 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 bam,
What?
5 times in the nose.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She's like, bitch, don't ever start shit with me. And because that's what she would do. She would ruin, if she didn't think that the guy was whatever. She tried to do it to the little sister too. She would think that she was doing something. She would think that she's doing a favor for her sister, but she's pissing her off. She would ruin their relationships. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On purpose. She would sabotage them.
Yep.
Tell their mother, oh, I think they're having sex and blah, blah, premarital sex. And it's like, well, how much premarital sex did you have?
None.
Yeah, no, this girl's, oh, dude, I've got stories about this dude, oh, God. Well, that's another podcast for all sort. She is the torch of feminism. It's disgusting what this woman does to her husband and how she treats him, and it is god-awful.
Sounds like a little mini Jada Pinkett Smith.
She's up there.
Yeah.
She's up there. She is up there.
Wow.
Okay. So what's the relationship? Okay. She would take a stand to her sister. because I was like, and I don't want to ruin this podcast on this. We'll talk about this like on a feminism, on a
dissecting.
yeah, because man, this woman has done some shit to me, and just the woman's insane, dude. And talk about that. That is why Todd needs his man card. He needs rule number 1: when you put your foot down, it hits the ground. This girl has beat this guy into submission. I mean, he doesn't even talk anymore.
Yep.
This guy just walks around in a dead zone space of my life sucks.
He's outnumbered.
Oh, yeah. He's got 2 twin daughters, too. Yeah. We'd go on family vacation, and they would all dogpile him. The mom, all 3 of the sisters. It was a sport to gang up on him. The guy couldn't even eat without, God, you're such a pig. And it's like, well, I'm hungry. He's sick. He's your size. He's 6'4". Freaking dude. He needs food to keep that body rolling, dude. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And so what's the relationship with the mom? If your mom is going to join in on the campaign of beating down your husband, I mean,
yeah. How many moms aren't going to give? Are they just dating coaches at this point for their girls? Is there like any healthy relationship, mother-daughter relationships anymore?
I don't even know if they're dating coaches, because I think they're feminists. Not all of them. Because there's, and the reason why I bring this up, I'm 45 and single. I've been through a divorce. There's podcasts on my story of what I went through and all that. I'm not going to go through that here. But I'm in the dating world now, 45 years old. And Tyler's got a girlfriend, but he's 35. And the difference between my generation and your generation is huge. And the generation now, it just boggles my mind that these younger women want older men because they can't find real men.
Yeah.
These guys they're already beaten into submission.
Most don't even know.
They don't even know.
It's a silent. They've been so secret and silent about what they're doing, just incrementally pushing you down. Here. It's like your brain tries to grow forward, and no.
Well, but okay. So relationship with the dad as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do they hate their dad, or do they have a healthy relationship with their dad? They get raised their whole life, or at least mine did. You got to do everything you got to do to make sure you can provide for yourself and not depend on a man. But you need to get married and have kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, you need to find a man that's going to take care of you, but you need to know that you got to be able to take care of yourself without a man. And it's like, well, if she doesn't need a man, then why is she getting married? Why are you teaching her that she doesn't need a man? But you expect all this stuff from your man. But okay, that's why I'm asking this question. If you want to be treated like that, body count matters. The relationship with your sisters and your brothers, right? Like, and that was another thing. My ex, she was close with her brother. You know what I mean? Like, she would rather hang out with her brother than her sisters any day of the week. You know, because her younger sister is just a spoiled, rotten, catty, just bitchy. And the oldest sister was just she didn't want to be around her because she knew that she'd start dipping into her relationships. You know what I mean? So she steered clear of all that. We hung out with her brother a lot. So that was good for me, right? But like my 2 daughters, my middle daughter doesn't get down with my older daughter. She doesn't like it. She did not like it at all. That's why she's moving the hell out of here whenever she graduates. She's like, I don't want no part of this shit. I am out of here. I'm not putting up with this no longer. So
the daughter-father relationship, that's always a good question because I think it's, you always hear these two words like, oh, she has daddy issues or he has mommy issues. Well, as soon as you hear those things, people usually just start subconsciously rejecting what that even means. They just be like, oh, they've got problems. And I don't think it's ever really been dissected. So, I mean, you ask a really good question. So what is her relationship like with him? I think it really needs to be analyzed because I don't think most men are doing that. So, I mean, you're asking a great question.
If she doesn't have a decent, if she doesn't have a good relationship with her father, there's issues there.
Yeah.
The daddy issues, the whole thing of.
It's the root of psychology, isn't it? The relationship with the parents.
Yeah. And the quality of I mean, like that's when you're. So she came from a good family. She came from a good family. Her mom was an angel, man, but she was still. She browbeat that shit into her. I mean, she's the one that caused all that. But at the same time, she taught, whether they took it or not, this woman was church, homemade food. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, the upbringing that they had was very healthy, except for the man-hating shit. Because the dad was a rancher, so he was in and out of town a lot, and he lived at his ranch in Oklahoma, and she was single here. Because he got tired of putting up with that shit. You know, we don't need men. We don't need our father. Paul's your favorite anyway. So they ran to mommy for everything. My wife instilled that in both my daughters. They run to her for everything. Well, fine. I mean, I'm here. But, and I've got a good relationship with my middle daughter. It's just she's at the age where she doesn't want to hang around me, dude. She's a senior in high school, dude. She wants to be with her friends, and
right.
She's worked hard to get herself where she's at. She needs to be able to enjoy her senior year. You know, soccer was her life. She was very disciplined in it, and she just got soccered out. Her mom beat it into her to where she got tired of it. She could have got scholarships. She could have got all sorts of stuff, man. But she's like, no, I'm done. I just want to go get my degree in business and get the hell out of here. So, I trust her to make good decisions. My oldest daughter, I've explained that at detail why me and her don't get along at the moment. Which she's our rebel, pressing all the limits everywhere, all the rules, take them, throw them away. You know what I mean? She'll figure it out. She's not a dumb kid.
So when they were growing up, if your ex-wife was separating you as much as possible so that she could groom them and grow them herself,
all your dad does is work.
So I mean, I haven't had kids, so I'm just kind of curious. Is this like to you, was that unhealthy because does it take away from your relationship, or is it?
It does, yeah, it does. Yes, because she always used to say my girls until it was time for daddy time or whatever, or
okay,
it's these are my girls. Like, you don't get a say.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you get a say on when the bills are due. Like these are my girls. I'm raising my girls the way I want to raise them. And for the most part, she did an okay job. She just forgot to teach them how to cook, clean, respect men, be thankful for what a man brings to the table. You know what I mean? If you want to get married and let him provide for you, there needs to be some respect there. But there's none. There was no. My generation was, I'm going to go to college, this is a girl, I'm going to go get a, hopefully, she didn't get pregnant in high school or in between, going to go to college, get a degree, come back, hopefully meet their man in college, but come back, get a job, get married by the time I'm 25 to 28, somewhere there, before I'm 30, start having kids in my 30s, and I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Can you provide that for me? Otherwise, you could be kicked out. That's what I'm saying. So these younger kids, they're not putting up with that shit no more. They're like, I ain't getting married. Is this the line that I get in to lose half my shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But back then, divorce, it was still high. The rate was high. But if you were smart and you got a good girl, which I am, and that's why I didn't do the mistakes that all my friends make, because I watched them making them, and I was like, oh, Jesus, that guy just fucking ruined his life.
Yeah.
He took everything good and just fucking gave it up. And I was seeing that happen, and I was like, man, I'm either going to find me a good one or I'm not getting married. I was focused on business. I was in business for myself back then. That was my focus. Like I wasn't worried about women. I didn't have a problem getting women. You know what I mean? But I wasn't out there looking for them either. I went to the bars and went to the clubs and all that kind of stuff. But not for long. Not for long. I was like, man, this is a fucking waste of time, dude. I'm out here spending $200 or $300 a night and going home and sleeping alone anyway. What do I need to do this for? Oh, it's my round. Oh, and then it's depending on your income level. I was above everybody back then. Mark's got it. So I didn't. And then I saw the debauchery going on. Just like it was a. You know, I'm not going to go dress up and get all like dolled out for some girl. If you don't like who I am, I'm a shorts and flip flop kind of guy, and I went to the bar. You know, I went to the bar dressed nice, but dude, much more than a. You know, I'm a pretty stocky guy, and back then I was in good shape. I'd just wear a fucking t-shirt or something that made my shit look good. Shorts, flip flops, jeans in the winter. Nothing. I'm not getting all flabbed out, but so my point is that I was waiting for a good one. It was either I get a good one or not get married, and then I took it as it came along. You know what I mean? And I generally attracted good girls all my life. All my life, I've always, all the girls that I've been with, most of them are good girls. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, because I'm the feminist out there. I'm sorry, my attitude and how I operate, I piss them off. They like me, but they have to show in public their disdain for me. Oh, Mary, and then behind, you get them alone. They're like, man, I really like you, but I can't. Yeah, you got to put on the act for your sisters, your friends. That's the second thing. What is their relationship like with their friends, her girlfriends? And what are their relationships like? Her girlfriends. Do they run all their men into the ground? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you're in a sea of all that shit going on all the time, you've got one that's been corrupted, or she's going to have a lot of people in her ear. Fuck him, fuck him, fuck him. He makes you, he doesn't want you going to the club with us this weekend. Fuck him. It's girls' night, No. If we're together, it's not girls' night.
Yeah, and then you lose your girl.
Yeah.
Because, so many dudes.
But if she's going to go along with that, it's not even worth having anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got all that stacked against you. Sisters, moms, friends. And does she have guy friends?
Yep.
The whole guy friend thing. He's one of my guy friends.
Whatever.
Yeah. Even if she's not sleeping with him, every one of those dudes are wanting to fuck her.
That's why she keeps them around. It boosts her up. It's like
and it's a safety net.
Yeah, well, that too.
Or feel sorry for me. When the boyfriend that I've got that doesn't feel sorry for me, she goes and runs to him. Oh, see, I told you that's why he's an asshole. You need to be with me.
Well, okay, so just switch it, right? So what if you just got a whole bunch of girl friends and just made them hang out with you all the time? And you can tell, who's interested and who's not, but you just push them down and just keep hanging out with them and dismiss them, but keep them stringing along. We'd be pieces of shit, but they do it all day long. They actually have a name for it. They call them orbiters. Like,
Really?
because you're the center of the sun, and you have all these all these orbiters, all these beta males. They know that they want to get with them. It's the whole reason the dude's hanging out with them in the first place. But it's just so like mental gymnastic game where like men can't even like begin to like think that this is wrong. That this is how bad the brainwashing is. Like all these dudes that are hanging out with her want to get with her.
Yeah.
All of them.
Good girls, we're not talking about you. We're talking about all these feminazis out here pulling this bullshit.
Well, the girls are inside. They're not at these places where they're doing this stuff. But
Right. They're in college. They're hitting the books. They're studying. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
yeah,
Talking to if they got a good relationship with their mom, keeping in touch with the parents. The parents are coming in and out of town, you know. So, yeah, I mean, but the relationship with the friends is okay. You said guys and girls. So back whenever I was not taking the bait, like everybody, all my buddies were doing, their serious girlfriends in private would hit on me. They weren't allowed to hang out with me because they knew if they went with me, I'm going to get in their ear and go, what in the fuck are you thinking, dude, putting up with this shit? That's why they didn't like me in public.
yeah.
But deep down, they wanted a guy like me that put my foot down and like, no. I was kind of raised right, and I have respect for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I've worked very hard to get where I'm at, and not just anybody gets access to me. Like, I have values and principles and morals, and I have things to bring to the table. I own my own business, debt-free, make good money at this age. You know what I mean? And I'm headed in the right direction. I knew where I was going. You know, and all my buddies were inferior to me. Not all of them, but again, you get them behind, you get it to a, or one of my friends' fiance, wife, all the ones that were getting married, her friend would be like, in private, like, man, Tara, I'm not going to mention it. So and so doesn't like you, but I don't give a shit what she says. I'm game for it. You know what I mean? So, because those girls know in that time frame, they've got a short window when they're 20 to 25. They've got a short window to get what they want. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, what was the age group? That was the age group in my generation of where that's where the you could tell the girls were just like, boom, shopping. You know what I mean? Like they were taking it serious. Like they, you know, they take their body serious, their job serious, their, you know, body count. Did whatever happened before, you know, got that out of the system before. But they were taking that age group. That's my point about what I'm saying about that age group. That's where they were taking that shit serious because that's when the good guys were getting nabbed up. They didn't want to lose that time frame. What was it in your period?
No, that sounds about right. That 25-year-old, when you hit that day, that day that you hit 25 as a woman, that's like this, like almost like a you know, like when you're running a marathon, you bust through the little tape. It's kind of the same thing, like because 25 is like the peak of their prime and their youth. So and then that's when
also that biological clock starts ticking.
Yeah, that too. But that's why, like, by 27, like, all their girlfriends are getting married and they give them shit if they're not. Like, women, when they hit that 27-year-old range, that's when they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? But then you realize when they hit 30 and they get married, it's kind of like, oh, you waited until you were actually an adult. 'Cause even though you're an adult when you're 18, man, your brain is so lost in those 20s. But
see, that good point, because that's what made me settle down with my ex, was that she was 2 years older than me. So you know what I mean? She was very mature. You know what I mean? Like the whole scene that what I'm talking about, I didn't really partake in. She didn't either. You know what I mean? That she didn't want to go to the clubs and bars and all. Even we went to the bars just to like I'm talking local pubs, play darts or whatever, have drinks and some dinner or whatever, watch a game or whatever. We did all that, but I'm talking clubs, all that shit. She didn't want to do all that.
Those girls just go for the attention anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, guys go so they can find someone, usually.
Hopefully, but it's 10 against 1.
Yeah.
The odds are not in your favor unless you're tall, good-looking, rich.
And they were in a group.
Huh?
And they were in a group. Like, as soon as, like, MySpace and all that stuff was coming out, it was a lot easier to, like, go meet girls and go on dates and stuff, even if they were in groups. But it quickly evolved into, like, the one that would never get a guy. She became this, like, manager of the group. So you would never have, I guess they were trying to keep them from making mistakes or whatever, but
Yeah.
most guys want to find a girl to go out with, hit it off with them, and then continue. But every so often they would notice, like, one guy would figure out the game and use them, and like, this is easy now. Like, I can harvest easy dates and get what I want.
Yeah.
But so many dudes are still just trying to find relationships anyway. They all got screwed in the end, which was the majority. Because most guys, like, once you get a girl and you like her, it's kind of hard for a guy to go venture off of his principles. Girls, it's a little bit different. It's more.
Here's the most man moment in that. Okay, is that's the time. That's the time. 20 to 20 for us. 18, 20, 25. Our frontal lobe does not develop in our brain till we're 25. But from what in your 20, yeah, it's time to do all your wild and crazy shit. But here's the thing, though. That's what I figured out about going to bars and all that kind of stuff and chasing girls at bars and in clubs is that the numbers were not in my favor. So that's why I was like, I'm going to focus on my business. This is the time. This is the most man moment of what I'm saying on this is that is the time to where one bad relationship problem or choice can wreck your whole program for your mid-20s or your later 20s. That is the prime. That primes the pump of what your 30s are going to be like. You can get a lot of that shit knocked out in your 20s when you're bulletproof. You got all the energy in the world and nothing holding you back. No girl, no kids, no. You know what I mean? Like strapping yourself down with somebody that you don't need to be with. That's the most man moment here is that's the time for you to capitalize, be that guy at 25 to 28 to where when you walk in a room, you're the biggest guy in the room. Fitness, financially, up here, you've got what they're looking for. And then it's easy. They fall in your lap. Because you tick all the boxes. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
All of a sudden, box 1, check. Box 2, check. Box 3, check. Now, what you need to realize is all of a sudden now you're marriage material, buddy. And that's when the game begins. You're going to get everything you want from her. Sex, loyalty, everything. No bitching, no nagging, no nothing. They know how to get married. They know. Their moms have taught them that because they don't want them coming back home. They teach them how to get married. But that's my whole point about what's the number on the body count. That's a moving target, right? 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Definitely under 10. I would say under 10. If it's 10 and above, I'm fucking out. I'm not even considering that shit. Would you?
Nah. I mean, honestly, I think one's too many.
I do too. I mean, in a perfect world, yes, we all would.
It used to be.
It
used to be perfect world until feminism came along.
And that's what's ruining this country.
Yeah, no, it is. It's got to go. It's a communist movement anyway.
You go to Saudi Arabia. You go to Saudi Arabia and those Middle Eastern countries over there. Yes, okay. I'm not saying that they're the best. Okay, there is terrorism. There is bad people over there, but I spent a year in Saudi. Well, a year and a half, almost 2 years, and man, they're some of the most. They had a bounty on Bin Laden's head. He was an embarrassment to that country. They didn't want to take that role on. Now, they take their laws serious over there, but I mean, they don't have the problems we have over here. And those women over there, they don't choose the husband for them, but that is a you are guaranteed, you're not 100%, but 98.9% you're guaranteed a virgin over there. India, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait. But in general, those people over there, I've worked with them. I just got back from Kuwait. They're the most, they're the nicest, they're most hospitable. Man, you cannot get them to quit buying gifts for you. When you come over there and you're their guest, dude, get out of the way. You get treated like a king, like royalty. I mean, and they take offense if you don't. They're trying to buy you a $1,000 watch. You better take it, or your business deal is.
It's disrespectful.
Yes,
yeah.
It's disrespect because you're their guest, and they take that very, very serious. But really, they're very, very peaceful people. They are. Now, do they have? They have their issues with, they went from a camel to a Cadillac. I mean, they went from here to here really fast. So, yeah, their culture's taking a little while to catch up. When you go from living in the desert to living in a mansion, I mean, that's a big difference.
But you're saying that they're monogamily up. Are there? Well, you're not saying this, but I'm kind of curious. Do you think, from your perspective, that their monogamy levels are so high because they're still? Do you think it's because they're still so deep rooted into their religion?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything around here.
You can feel God in that country.
Yeah.
Call him Allah, call him whatever you want. You can feel God in their country. You can feel it. You can feel the spiritual. That is law over there.
Mm.
You disrespect that. You disrespect that they have traditions that they follow, and you disrespect that. That is why their laws are so strict, because they have mutalas over there, which are the religious police. Okay, they don't govern or anything. They enforce the law on the Quran. That's how they enforce law. And they don't have anybody. Now, 9 times out of 10, when they enforce it, it's for a reason. They send them for a reason. They walk around on the streets downtown and all that, and they see one of their own people being disrespectful to the culture. Yeah, they enforce it. Yeah. Now, it's very that's why feminism wouldn't go over there, man. They don't put up with that shit.
What's all anti-Christian shit too? I mean,
it is. It's evilness. But I'm just saying, like, it's a very chauvinistic world over there. Those males they're running the program. The males are running the shit, and they'll let you know. And those women know it. They are there. Now, when I was over there, and I was over there in Y2K, if you went off the perception of, they have to cover their face, they can't work, you would think that they're treated like dogs over there. Okay? That's what American women say. Oh, they treat them like dogs. Dude. And they're allowed to have multiple wives, but every single one of those wives has to live just like the other one. They have to live an equal, if you're going to have multiple wives, that you have to provide equally for each one. And schedule your time properly to where you spend time with each one of those families. You know what I mean? But the thing is over there is that the women actually raise those children, sons and daughters. The sons to be men and the daughters to be good women. And not servants to their husband, but be a good wife to their husband. Because the men are out there making all the money. They don't want to they're doing off old-fashioned times. They don't want to go out there and work. Why would they go out there and work whenever they can? That's Candace Owens had a good bit on this, is that women are getting women are getting the shit end of the stick of feminism. It's this whole feminism. The women are the ones getting the short end of the stick. Candace was like, tell me what's wrong with if I get married and I have to submit to my husband that all I have to do is stay at home, cook, clean, and raise the children. That's all I have to do. And he takes care of the rest. Now, since feminism, now I have to be pure. I can't be a hoe, or I'm not going to get married. Okay? I have to go to college and get a degree and go to work and a career, and now I've got to juggle keeping the house under control because women typically run the house, right, on cooking, cleaning, right? Even if they got to hire a maid, whatever, daycare for the kids, on and on and on and on and on. The male always generates the most. So you're telling me that now all of a sudden I've got to juggle a career, be a mother, be responsible for homework, all the stuff that I'm responsible for, right? And focus on a career? Or I went the feminist route, got all the way here, got the career, and now all of a sudden all the good guys are gone. So they move backwards and start looking at this younger generation of men. And there's none there. They're stuck. And that's the whole point of this, is that the younger generation, these younger men, figure out that 100 divided by 2 is 50, and I'm not getting in this line to lose half my shit. You know what I mean? They saw what happened in your generation and the parents. The children that are in my generation, they saw what happened to all of us. All of the men in my age group that we went through my generation of this. We're gonna have kids, and I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom, and you're gonna make all the money, and that's the way it's gonna be. All of us were like, the fuck, man? We've given them everything they wanted, and they're still unhappy? Because now all of a sudden, they can't make it without you. You know, and that's what happened between me. That's why I left her the first time. I was like, look, I'm not here for you to just make me be as miserable as you. You chose to be a stay-at-home mom. You know what I mean? It's not right for you to just try to make me just as miserable as you are, because you don't have anybody to talk to, you know, except your other miserable. There's the other miserable stay-at-home moms. All he does is work. Well, fuck, if that's the only thing that I've done wrong in our marriage, I say I've done pretty good. If that's the worst thing I've done is work hard or work too much. I think I've done pretty well. So, what time we start?
Good question. I'm not sure.
That's all right. Doesn't matter. We're on a good one. But it's our time, and these guys now, these younger guys, it's up to us. Okay, I'm in the dating world. I'm 45. Tyler's 35. Got him a good girl. I'm happy for him that he doesn't have to go through the shit that I'm going through right now. I'm going through the shit of sifting through what's already been kicked to the curb. Okay? So their attitude is they're just looking for round two, and they got the same playbook. Or there's the ones out there my age or in my age group that are like, man, we fucked up, and I'm not going to do that again. Right? Or you got the younger generation going, those women in your generation that fucked up and went career route with no kids, they're looking for the older divorced man because they can't find a man. You know how easy it is for me to find a girl in her 30s and 35, 40 right now? That's my demographic if I'm dating. They're everywhere. And they're looking to cling on to they're looking for older men that have been divorced, that have been put through shit, and they're willing to. I'm not saying they're not feminists still, but they're more willing to put up with shit or put up with what you say goes. You see what I'm saying? Like they're ready now to believe that there is a hierarchy to this, or they're just feminist and they're not putting up with shit. So I feel sorry for the. Go ahead. I've been talking.
No, that's where all those cats come from.
Oh yeah, yeah. Every single girl's got a cat, if not 2 or 3. Oh, we're so lonely together, both of us. Brr, brr. I'm just as unhappy as you and angry. So I'm gonna go piss on everything and make it mine. Seriously, have you? When's the last time you've been in a house where people have cats or girls have cats or?
It's been a while.
They fog shit. They piss on shit.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that? Yeah, that fog thing you're talking about.
Yeah, they fog it out their ass or wherever. Yeah.
That's the weird. Is it the male cats that do that? Or is it both?
No, it's female.
Is it?
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing.
No, male cats. Male cats can be cool if they're just outside cats, because they're just out to fucking tear shit up, dude, and fight, and especially if you got a good one, man. You got a good one that walks proud. I mean, they can be cool. That one I had, I'm telling you, this cat, he was bulletproof, dude. I mean, everybody in my neighborhood was like, God, man, that cat kicks the shit out. Like, he was the neighborhood badass in our neighborhood. Everybody's like, keep your cat. Like, that cat stays outside. That's when it's freezing. He goes in the garage. You know, but, I mean, he may have sprayed around town, but no. He was a bad motherfucker, dude. He took care of business, too, and I'm sure he was the neighborhood pimp. He got all the girls, all the little meow meows. They liked old Burr Kitty. But, yeah. So what in your world, you and your girlfriend are pretty secluded. It's just you. Y'all don't really. Do y'all have a bunch of friends, or do y'all stay pretty to yourself?
We go in and out of that, but for the most part, we stick to ourselves. Too many people interfere with your relationships. Like, everybody's a dating coach, but nobody has good advice. And especially if they're single people, like, if you can get a grip on it and stay in control, you can let single people be your friends. Most of them are like good-hearted people, but when it comes like single women that are trying to be friends only with like your girl, like, you have to be really careful with them to let them in, because all they care about is controlling men. So like, you can't have a healthy relationship if they're around, and you can't control if they become friends or not, because they'll make friends at work. They have to work together every day, so they become friends. And then it's so hard to keep that stuff separate. So it's hard to find the right group of people to be friends with, because they have to be very parallel to you. And if you don't have a healthy relationship and like you're not really in control of things, it's really difficult. So we keep to ourselves most of the time. Like, family tries to hang out with us pretty often, but I think that's kind of weird, because I think about things the way that they used to be. You would see you leave the nest when you hit 18. You go and you see your family at holidays, and maybe random events and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't really like people interfering with a relationship. So we stick to ourselves more than we have people around. But once things start getting out of control and they start sticking together too much, and the manipulation starts, the leveraging starts, I separate it all. I keep it out as much as possible. And then they come back in numbers. Then they like normalize it, and you have to like the submitting thing, like you're talking about. Men don't want women to like, you submit. It's not like that.
No.
That's the way they preach it. So you hear that shit as soon as you're born. You're like, man, what the hell? Men are bad. What the hell's going on? A little freaking toddler. And you think that the rest of your life. Then you like get to your older age, you're like, submitting is just like, hey, quit acting like a piece of shit. You know, that's all it is. And everything is about leverage or be leveraged, submit or be submitted to. It's all war to them, and it's retarded. It makes no sense. Men aren't out there doing that.
No, men want Real men just want a girl to be who he comes home to, and that's his everything. He doesn't want to come home and make her submit. Men, we fight all day at work, or you know what I mean. We have issues all day at work, or with whatever we're doing. We've got we got problems to solve. The last thing we want when we come home is to have to battle with your girlfriend or your wife. I mean, you just want her to be your peace and quiet. She don't have to be quiet, but you know what I mean. Just be
normal.
Yeah, just, hey, how was your day? This, that, and the other. Or tell me about your day. And if you don't want to talk about your day, it's like, look, today was a freaking shit day. I don't want to talk about it. Well, why don't you want to talk about it? Just respect the fact that I don't want to talk about it right now. Can I just decompress? You know what I mean? Can I get a beer or whatever you do? Or can I just relax, get my breath together? My generation, and I'm sure this hadn't changed. You wouldn't know it because you don't have kids. But, you know, when all them stay-at-home moms started, you know, you're going to help me start raising these kids. And it's like, whoa. What happened to this whole stay-at-home mom thing? You raise the kids. I go to work. Dude, we used to come home. I mean, and I'm not speaking just for myself. And mine wasn't that bad, but it started happening when all of them started. They started having hen parties, okay, where, you know, checker night, where, you know, bring over all the wine and we're going to get drunk and play checkers and bitch about our husbands while our husbands take care of the kids, okay? But they all started, I'm talking to all the husbands on the side going, hey, man, are you getting this shit? Like, as soon as you walk through the door, they meet you in the garage or wherever you're in. And it's like, boom, handing you a kid as soon as you walk through the door. It's like, what the fuck is this?
And this is after they've separated you from growing them up together, right?
Yeah.
So they separate them. They do it. Oh, this is too much.
Your daddy doesn't want you like your mommy. They do that to set up the... See, I'm the one that raises you.
Yeah.
Mommy raises you, not daddy. When he gets home, he doesn't even... I mean, but my kids used to attack me when I walked through the door. I didn't have to have the problem of having one thrown in my face.
Yeah.
You know, my son used to wait for me at the end of the driveway. There wasn't no... You have to shove him in my face. You know, I was a good dad. I did well for them. You know, and most men, we want to be good fathers and good husbands. That makes us feel good. No, none of this. We want to control a woman and you know, keep her barefoot pregnant. No, that's what makes us feel good as men. We want to be able to do that for you. But could we just get a little fucking respect? Thank you goes a long way. Or, hey, I really appreciate, you know, what you do for our family. Doesn't have to be every day, every week, or month. Just once in a while, just be like, man, I really appreciate that you bust your ass for us. You know? It really means a lot to me. That's all you have to say. You don't have to give me a massage. You don't have to stroke my ego. You don't have to do any of that. Just be sincere and be thankful. That's it. We want to do that. Don't you want to do good for your girlfriend? Don't you, you're in your career and all that?
Yeah.
You want to work hard to where all the hard work that we're putting in, especially right now, and it's to get to that end where it's like, okay, now we can breathe and we can enjoy it together. See, that was the whole thing in my marriage, and a lot of guys my age. And this is one thing that for you, because this is when I figured it out, was about your age, was we were all successful. We all were, you know, the group of people that we ran around with and the friends, all the men were pretty successful. You know, not everybody was multimillionaires, but we were all successful. And we'd sit around drinking beer and be like, man, God, man, we worked our ass off to get here for this? This? To be miserable? To have a miserable wife that we can't enjoy it with? because she's so mad that all I do is work and wanting to take shit out on me, start fights with me because I work. This is what I did it for. I did it for now, the whole family, now the kids are of age, and we took good vacations. But what I'm saying is that's what it was for. That's what I put in all that hard work for, was to give my family a good life. You know, I instilled values and work values in all of my kids. They're not getting everything for free, but I didn't want them having to. Dude, sometimes we didn't have food, graham crackers or waffles, or that's what you got. Thank God Fast Taco was down the street, 2 bean burritos for $1. That's how we ate. You know, and my mom was a nurse. We didn't have any our nutrition sucked. She couldn't afford it. So, I mean, boy, that's the generation of feminism that just fucking set the tone for what we're dealing with now.
Oh yeah, they created
big
soldiers.
Oh,
I think that's what you call them.
Yeah, I am woman, hear me roar shit.
Dude, man, it's so bad. Like the body count thing, dude, it got so out of control. Like I started seeing like girls that I was interested in, that I was giving my time to and trying to progress something into. I started noticing that the orbiter thing, how many they kept around. Like this one girl was like going out with all these different dudes, but it was part of the modern thing. That was her excuse. But then she made it seem like, oh, it's just you and me. So she would play this game. Like I figured out towards the end of the relationship where she figured out that I figured it out, and I was like separating. She's like, I'll do anything, blah blah. And then she got like pregnant by some dude, and then she was like, oh, I'll do anything if you stay. I was like, all these things started waking me up. I was like, dude, these girls will go, like, if they figure out that you like them, they'll go find some dick to suck just so that you're ruined. That's why I think like one's too many now, because that's what I think that's what almost every guy wanted. They want like that completes a man. I found the one girl the one time, knocked it all the way out, and we're together forever. Dude, I've dreamed about that since I was like 9 years old.
That's being ripped out of society.
Yeah,
it's being ripped out of society. That's what most men want, or almost man.
All they care about is destroying you. That's all it's about.
Or just making you a good slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just accepting the fact that this is the new norm. Well, it's not the new norm. This younger generation is making it not the new norm. If you watch now, the girls are. This generation of girls is whoa. OnlyFans, all this. I mean, it's disgusting what they're doing, and it's going to put a huge dent in society, our society, because these younger men, they're like that. That's how they're approaching situations now. Like, oh, you're an OnlyFans girl, or you're this girl, you're that girl. Oh, you want to be naked on the internet all the time, or Instagram and all that. Okay, so then all I want from you is sex. I don't take you serious. Okay. And there's these younger podcasts where they'll bring 15, 20 of these girls all at one time. Shout out Fresh and Fit. They'll bring them on there, and just they think they're coming on to take it on and be like, we're boss bitches, we're this, we're that, and they walk out of there going, God, we feel so stupid, because they bring up the exact obvious of what's going on, and these younger guys, they're not putting up with it. And they're making a huge mistake with this whole OnlyFans. But they're going to find out when they're 29, 30 years old, like what I'm saying, the ones that went career route in your generation, my generation. They're going to find it out. They got it, and then all of a sudden, and women don't like living alone. Women can't be alone. They can't.
That's why they stick together. I have my mom told me this.
Well, if they can't find a man, that's the only thing they got. And if the only thing she's gonna, without interrupting, But the only thing she's going to have that she can agree with is another feminist.
Yep.
That can't have a man.
They lie to each other to
Yeah.
build each other up.
Yeah, and then if either one of them are unhappy, and let's say one finds a guy and she's like, all right, man, I'm out of here. She's going to have her, oh, no, you can't do that. We need to be sitting here unhappy together. We've been talking about this for 20 years, you know. We've got each other, girl. Oh, girl, you know, I got your back. She'll steal that good man from you, too. Yeah, it might be at the time. Yeah, bring him in, and then my ex-wife, her friend did that to me. I'll tell you the story off. Supposed to be her best friend. Man, boy, did she put the moves on me real quick, and I turned her down, and it pissed her off. Number one, on that, have you ever had this happen to you? Number one, it was either, I think, I know for a fact, once I tell you the story off air, because I don't want to embarrass her. She hasn't done anything to me that bad to embarrass her putting her name out there, right? My ex-wife will know who I'm talking about. But at first, I was like, well, I mean, she flat out came to me and was like, anytime, anywhere, I'll come to you. I'm like, God dang. And she called me like a day later and was like, all right, she's at work. I'm in town. You know, we got 5 hours. Where do you want to meet? And I was like, and this was new in the relationship too. So, I mean, like, we weren't like together. I was still single, right? So I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Not only I can't do it, because that's the part of me, like, you've got two choices now. You're listening to this guy or you're listening to this guy. Which one are you going to listen to, right? A guy with no morals and values would be like, hey, free sex. This one's a lay me down. So y'all can roast me all you want out there, okay? That was a lay me down. Okay, well, here's the most man moment, okay? Was it a test? Was it a test or a setup? You take the bait. You take the bait, and you get you some free sex. Get you a free piece of ass. Okay? And then you lose the girl that you knew was the most quality you came across in the last 10 years was the highest quality one. And you're going to lose it over a piece of ass. Right? Have you ever been set up? Or not set up, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Come on, girl, call my boyfriend. See if he'll.
I've had the temptations when you're in a relationship. Like it's a weird thing that girls do. They'll like, some will definitely just test you just to get you and see. See, you're one of those, or they really just want to steal you because they're like, oh, you're in you're something solid about you.
Yeah, you're happy.
Yeah,
you're happy.
Yeah.
Let me.
I want that. Because, I mean, when you get in a relationship, men kind of become men again because they're so leveraged in the dating marketplace. They're all just like begging almost. Like the whole pool of them just begging for a relationship. The orbiters. It's like 80% of us. It's bad.
Well,
so like when you're in a relationship, they're like, oh, I know that girls only get in relationships because they're not orbiter. I want that. That's hard to find. It's kind of the psychology behind some of it.
Yeah, I mean.
But yeah, I've been tempted, but I haven't really been set up. But I haven't really had very many relationships. I've been very particular about who I get in a relationship with because it's so bad out there.
Well, in your age group,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how bad it is. I know this. All I see is the leftovers of what your generation didn't take, or the ones that said, I'm a woman, hear me roar, I'm going the career route. And now they're just like, what the fuck? And they're like, in the you go out on a date with one, dude, if it doesn't get brought up on date one, well, number one, if date one doesn't go good with me anymore, there is no date two. I'm not even, And if on the first date, if marriage and kids come up, would you ever think about getting married again? What do you think about having kids? Excuse me, honey. I've got to go to the bathroom. I will be right back. And I walk out and I go get in my truck or my Uber and I leave.
That's way too early.
Oh, some of them aren't afraid of that. Hey, man, they're back in the market. They got their boxes. Oh, something you were saying that these, I know y'all's generation probably started this. Not you, but the women in your generation started this. How many guys are you going out with? This generation, that's almost a job to them now. They're going on 4 or 5 dates a night.
Yeah.
Starts with drinks. Then who's the one that they got it planned out. Free happy hour, free drinks, intimate drinks. You're in tiers. What tier are you in? If you're an A tier, if you're the C and D guys, you're just getting happy hour drinks. They're shopping you. Then the ones they want a little intimate time with, that's the ones that pass the test on that lower rung, C and D. Then they get put into the C column. The B's are who they're doing the intimate drinks with, and then the A's are the marriage material. But their whole night, all week, is paid for by other men.
It used to be like 2 to 3 dates a day, but now they're like multiple dinners.
Lunch, coffee, happy hour.
Dinner 1, dinner 2, dinner 3.
Yeah.
Dessert. Oh, dude, it's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Is Jesus, man.
One is still too many.
Yeah. I mean, the question is that if their mom knew that, would their mom approve of that? Because no mother wants their daughter to be a whore. You wouldn't think, would you?
How many
women? Come on, comments.
I don't know how many women are feminists now, and how many aren't. I know the magnet's pushing them not to be one now, but if they are, they're all about the sexual revolution. All that
well, here's the I think in Texas we're pretty safe. Even if they're feminists or they lean towards that, they've still got Texas roots in them. You know what I mean? Like, I think we've probably got, now if we went to L.A. or Seattle or New York, I mean, we have to go somewhere else to test the pool. I think here we've probably got a pretty good mixed bag of, like, our odds are way better here, or men, they're way better here in Texas than they are in some of those other Chicago, you know what I mean, like big cities.
Maybe they'll follow the rules more, but they'll use the loopholes in the rules. Like, I've seen that a lot. Like, well, we broke up, so yeah, I went with him.
Well, but my whole thing is in Texas, we're more manly in Texas than they are in Texas, yeah. Tennessee, Florida, North and South Carolina, Nebraska. You choose those states where men are still men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we got a greater shot there. We still got it. No, we're still dealing with it. But I think our pool is a lot better.
We're the buckle of the Bible Belt too, so the morals and principles are still really hard to break completely off.
Yeah, we still got our Southern culture is still there. Yeah.
But everywhere else, like you're talking about, that
well, see, I had to go to school in Florida when I was in 6th grade. My mom's how many divorces was that? That was her 3rd divorce. So we got drugged to no, not divorce. It was her third marriage ended in divorce. But we had to go to Florida because he lost his job. And we were in Boca Raton, which is full of a bunch of Yankees, a lot of rich Yankees. And I mean, I remember going to school going, get me back to fucking Texas now. Insanity, dude. Those girls were, well, no, they were just rich snobs. But on top of it, they were rich lib snobs. Bitches. I mean, rude, mean, hateful. I mean, just. Now, there was Florida girls there, but when you're dealing with that area, Boca, Fort Lauderdale, that's what you get. You get a lot of that Yankee money down there because they want to be down there for the weather. Totally different fucking setup, dude. I was like, get me back to I told my mom, I said, if you don't get me back to Texas, I'm gonna find my own way back to Texas. And I'm calling my grandparents, my grandpa, or something. I am getting back to Texas. I am not living in this fucking shithole. And she did. She packed me and my sister up. And we came back. And yeah, it was night and day. We're doing okay here still, I think. But everything of what we just talked about, our odds are better here. It just, thank God we're in Texas, man. But we still got the pool of ignorance of it could go both ways at age 20, 25. Girl makes a bad decision or gets pregnant and she's stuck with a guy. You know what I mean? It's for the girls out there, that you need to know that young men, girls are more mature than us, man. And realistic, well, then they're smarter than us for sure. Dude, girls have got a plan at 16 years old. They have a plan, unless they get knocked up. You know what I mean? Like, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. I'm going to have a boyfriend. I'm going to have this. I'm going to get married here. I'm going to college. I'm going to do this. They've got their shit mapped out unless they get knocked up. And knowing if they have but that's what I say to, like, I use my brother-in-law and sister as the perfect example of, he was a great guy. And she's the one that ruined the marriage, not him. She got caught, taking a trip to the other side, And he's like, hey, man, I ain't putting up with this shit. And I was like, I wouldn't either. But my point about him is they got married whenever he was 21, 22. She was just getting out of high school, going to college. He was a couple years older than her. But anyway, she started going to college. She came back, finished school here. They get married young, start having kids. Well, dad owns a big machine shop, makes a ton of money, okay? He's got 2 sons. Well, that's what they're thinking. Well, when dad retires, we'll get the company. That's not how it worked out. He sold out the company when he was ready to retire. You want some of daddy's cheddar, you got to buy in. And he told him that then. So what my sister didn't know, that's her, she's banking on that happening, right? 28, 29 years old. He was tapped out at 21 years old. Dad's paying him as much as he'll ever make. Okay? Get married, start having kids, and all of a sudden, there is no moving up the ladder. And she ruins her marriage over that. One bad decision. Not thinking it through. Most man moment. You know what I mean? Girl or guy. Thinking, oh, man, I got me one with money. And he's a good guy. That ain't always so. You know what I mean? Because whenever you start having kids, Bubba, you better be making some money because they are fucking expensive. And it doesn't stop for 18 years, if not longer. So, yeah, that's that. So I think we got it covered on that one. Let me check these off so I know I don't talk about it. Okay. So, you got any closing comments?
Nah. Another discussion for another day. We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did, and I think we've been on for probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I think because it's four now.
Yeah, I think we're closer to 2 hours on this one.
Yeah.
This will be hard to turn off, though. I think this is a good one.
Yeah, no, it's good, but it's just, ladies, girls, I support good women. I would rather work with a woman before I worked with a man, except for somebody like Tyler that doing this. I'm talking in an office setting when shit's real business stuff. Like I'm talking payroll bills, computer work. I mean, just the whole keeping shit organized. Women all day long. They will come in. This is the beauty of working with women in the office or is that that's the reason why. If you now in corporate world, probably totally different because they'll cut throats anywhere to get ahead. But women that work for like local companies or just they want to get in there. They're just having to work because they're making a little extra money to make things easier at home, right? Or they've got a full-time job, but they've got it structured so well. And you'll probably notice this about your girlfriend. When she goes to work and gets her shit done so she can get home. You know what I mean? She's not going to be... Girls don't spend extra time at the office if they've got shit to do at home. You know what I mean? They're there. They get their job done. They're out of there because they got kids to take care of or they've got homework or, if they're in college or whatever. They make the most of their time. That's why I would rather work in that setting. Because, dude, shit's done right. I mean, you're a very rare male to come across that does but you just got that. Your brain works like on all the. Tyler's created all this stuff, by the way. This is not me. I mean, I helped on some of the logos and stuff, but I'm just saying, making this come alive. Him.
That's why some of this conversation is difficult for me because I know that you know what you're talking about, but I guess I think that I'm just like everybody else too. Like in my office settings, I was telling you, I think at one point where the women that I was working with in the office, they would just do their job and they would always get promoted. Where I would be given more responsibilities. I would be doing 3 different jobs, like getting 3 different departments up and running or 2 departments that weren't up and running, plus like a design job. And the woman that was like co-partner of the company, dude, just destroyed me. It killed my spirit. Anything she could. She was just trying to promote the women in there. Like,
well, that's wrong. That's wrong. But when you work with them, well, now don't get me wrong. We had some catty situations in our office. Oh yeah, no, they'll cut. They'll cut where they can cut.
Well, she was part owner, but she wanted the women to be elevated, not me.
Right, to where they're at the top. But
Yeah.
here's the thing though. But in a setting to where they won't be that, like where I'm the owner, okay? I just want my shit done, okay? Now, when you're in a corporate world where they're pushing all this woke, weak, racism, so many women, so many, African Americans here, so many Hispanics here, so many, whatever the percentage is that they have to do to get that ESG score, whatever the shit that's going on. Yeah, you're gonna get the shit into the stick as a man, because here's the thing: my point about this is to where you'll understand maybe why that can happen. In a bigger setting, I could see how that'd be extremely frustrating, and that's why guys don't bring up shit at work. They just get their job done. They don't bring politics and all that. They don't do any of that because they're already fighting a system that's working against them. Because when you do see productivity the way women are productive, when you in a corporate setting or an office setting, okay? Now, when you get out into other stuff, get the fuck out of the way. I'm talking about an office setting, okay? Number one, they're 9 times out of 10, they're not there to climb the corporate ladder. So that's why they bitch that they don't make as much as men, because they're there to just do their job and go home. If they get a promotion, great.
Right.
Okay. But as an owner, when you see, 150, 200 people work, and you watch a guy sit there and, cigarette break, fantasy football, we get distracted more than they do. You know what I mean? That's why it is what it is. That's why I wouldn't want men in my office setting, because we are easily distracted with things. You know what I mean? Especially at a young age. Young men that don't have a wife, what are they thinking about? They're thinking about getting laid. You see, girls are like, I need to get my stuff work done to where I can go to the club tonight or the bar tonight or whatever. God, we're so consumed with, that's why, without getting into the weeds on that, but that's why why do you think they shove sports down our throats so hard, is to keep every man confused with that, so these feminists can pull off what they're wanting to pull off, because they know men are so easily distracted. Somebody passes by, hey, you got a cigarette? I had a bunch of rough guys working for me, but that's talk time then. Yeah, I got a cigarette. What have you been up to? Now it's just a 10-minute fucking break because he wanted to smoke a cigarette. When a girl's like, I don't smoke. You see, so that's why it is what it is because if you've seen it from afar, now you could be, but here's the thing, if a good manager's doing his job, he would see what you're doing and be like, all right, man. But yes, if it's a woman and she's a feminist, then you're fucked. Yeah, no, I could see that happen easily, but I was the one that controlled I was the one that controlled that lever. You know what I mean? So
I increased a lot of revenue, and I took on a third position just to build more, so I can negotiate some more money. They gave me $1 an hour. I was like, but this position increased your revenue by like $2,500 a project.
Okay,
it's gonna take me 2 days to do, and you're gonna give me $16 out of that $2,500.
Most man moment over here. This is why you want to be independent. Tyler's an independent contractor, by the way. He yes, is employed. Does he work for me? No, this guy's gonna be way more around here than what he is now, because he's got business acumen and savvy up here. He just doesn't know, working with a guy like me, that I'm not going to strap this. I'm not going to hold him back. I'm going to let him loose. And the money that's made around here, you're going to get a piece of it for your hard work. Okay, but this is the. Oh God, don't. Oh. Oh shit! I want to make sure I get this right. Oh, this is the most man moment out of this deal. Is that corporate, bigger companies in general. When you finally figure this out, okay, most man moment, if you're an employee out there, if you want to get to the top, you're going to have to work hard, because 9 times out of 10, managers do notice it. Unless you got a feminist sitting over your head wanting all the women to be at the top, okay? But what I'm getting at is that once the boss figures out that the employees and the managers, once they figure out that, because as an employee, this is the worst thing you can do to your manager, is make threats to quit if you don't get any more money or get a raise or this, that, and the other. And they're just like, all right, let them quit. Because here's what they figure out is they know that they need that paycheck. They'll talk all this shit, okay? But they know that they're paying you enough to where you can't just quit. The bill's got to be paid, right? So that's the whole point of trying to get ahead, save money, and not be the week-to-week guy, to where you can make that pivot if you have to. Especially if you've got leverage to that company. Because I had guys that I was like, man, I can't lose him. but can't let him know that I need him too much either. You know what I mean? And this is a guy that wasn't in my circle, but he was but that's when we would notice that stuff. Us as a whole, we'd gather up together and say, hey, we need to take care of him. You know, like he needs to get a raise in private. Like, and he needs to know that he's getting that and he does not need to tell anybody. Because, see, that's the other problem, is when you give a guy a raise, he's going to, first thing he's going to walk to is a Coke machine and be like, fuck yeah, I got a raise today. And now all of a sudden you got 50 other people going, where the fuck's my raise? You see, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's why whenever you see companies do things, you're like, this just doesn't make sense. It's because if now, I used to, during meetings, I would give bonuses out in front of everybody. Bonuses are different than raises. See what I'm saying? And you make those bonuses significant to where they mean something, to where everybody's like, fuck. So if I do that, I can get that? I mean, I'm talking $1,000 or more. It was, you know, and then on top of that, it's like, look, here, I noticed that your favorite drink's Dr. Pepper or, Coors Light, Miller Lite. You know, I'd chalk a Yeti full of beer and ice it down and be like, here, man, here's your new ice chest. Make sure your beer's cold. Send him home with shit that means something where everybody else is like, fuck, man, I can't afford a Yeti. And he just got one for free. You know? But that's why. They know you need the check. But in order to get that, is because when somebody would come to me or one of my managers, and we knew it, the news would kind of be, we would be hearing it through the grapevine that, hey, so-and-so got another job offer from, you know, XY over, you know, they'll steal your good, they'll come over and hire him, give him a raise. How much you making over here? $20 an hour. We'll pay you $25 and give you 401k and blah, 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 blah. You don't think he's jumping on that? So when that happens, you got to genuinely go in and say, hey, we dropped the ball. We've watched your hard work, but we have been so busy. You need to be honest with him that you've been busy, not enough to appreciate him. But then you do a public display of appreciation in front of everybody. And his raise comes in private. Say, look. But you don't give him the bonus. You don't let him know he's getting a bonus on top of it. Okay? You give him the raise and say, hey, this is being given to you because we know you're worth it. But if you go out there and start announcing that, you know, you go buy a brand new truck next week, everybody's going to be like, no, you need to say that you've been saving your money, working hard, you know, and this is what happens when you save your money. Because typically those guys do. They've got their money saved. They've got money saved to where if you go out there and say, hey, man, blah, 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 he's like, hey, bro, I'm going down the road. And it's not going to hurt him. It's not going to hurt him. That's what we all need to be working for. Having that backup to where if you need to tread water for a little while, you can. Because, man, you can get struck by lightning like what happened to me. Overnight, lose millions. It happens. It happens to all of us, man. And I was prepared. My whole plan was I was prepared. It still fucking drug me down. I mean, it was bad. Because then, once you're down, you've got to get through that dark cloud. It's dark, but you can't give up. Most man moment. You just can't give up. You got to keep fighting. Because I honestly think that all of our hard times and all the hardest things that we go through is just a test to see how we handle it. Now, bad decisions can get you in a horrible situation with not knowing the relationship, not knowing the body count, not knowing the relationship with the sisters, the mom, the dad, and her friends. That can get you in a bad situation that can be avoided if you They're scanning you, buddy. They are scanning you, and they're checking their boxes. But as soon as you fit, okay. But the whole other thing, you got to throw the test back. And the young guys now are doing it. Keep doing it. Be a most man. All right, please like, subscribe. That was kind of rude of me. Do you got anything else to say?
No.
No.
No, we're good.
Gonna cap it off on that? All right. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. Some comments, boys and girls. Come on over. We are on iTunes. We're on Rumble now. Come over to Rumble. They're not censoring anybody over there. Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info@themostmen.com, jointhemensclub.com. Get all your cool swag. Get your man kit, balls back, maintain, retain. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.